Keep Laredo Beautiful Board of Directors meeting here at the City of Laredo. The time is approximately 5:39, and I am calling this meeting to order. I'm Jim Belmontes. I am the Vice President for the moment, and so I'll take roll call. Tracy King has resigned, Jackie Sutton has resigned, and Kenny Duncan has resigned. So do I have Myra Hernandez present?
She's out on vacation. If y'all are okay with her absence, then.
I'll ask for that excused absence in just a second. Javier Alonso?
Present.
Present. Brenda Garcia? Graciela Villarreal?
Present.
Lynn Nava?
Present.
And then we have guest Joanna Villarreal,
Present.
but she's now aboard. She's also on the board.
Until the 18th.
Until the 18th, okay. And then Bianca Brewster is absent. Okay. And then who else is on our board or coming onto the board? Do we know?
We have Ms. Priscilla Pantoja submitted her application today.
Okay, so we have down Priscilla Pantoja.
We have Ms. Christina Cuellar also submitted her application today.
Cristina Cuellar.
And Ms. Monica Cavazos also submitted her application about a week ago. Everybody should, if everything goes well, everybody should be approved on the 18th.
On the 18th, okay. So, pending approval, 18th.
I'm gonna finish it today. I didn't travel.
Okay. All right, and so we do have a quorum, correct?
Yes, we
So-
do.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to accept excused absences for Myra Hernandez and Brenda Garcia.
Brent, I have not had contact with Brenda. She
With
has
Brenda?
not. She hasn't.
Either or?
Miss, for
Myra,
Miss
yes.
Miss
Myra,
Myra,
yes.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
Brenda, you haven't? Oh,
No.
okay, then it's supposed to be good.
Miss Myra also for her last act, she showed up late. We
Okay.
had already left, but she showed up.
She did show, okay,
Yes.
so we'll reflect that on the record.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
so then excused absence for Myra Hernandez.
I move that we excuse Myra Hernandez's absence.
Do I have a second?
I'm gonna second that.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, cool. All right, so then I have approval of the minutes for the meeting on June the 7th. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
And I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, citizen communications. Do we have anybody here from the general public who would like to make comments?
We do have Mr. Tony Arce. He's our KTV president. Do you want to make any comments as a citizen?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the invitation to be here again. I have been involved in a couple of meetings over the last 6 months as board president for Keep Texas Beautiful, but I live here like everybody said from here. So we had our annual conference last week in Austin. I'm very proud to recognize Keep Laredo Beautiful for an award of excellence.
Oh, fantastic. Ruby. Yes.
Yes, guys.
Plus a gift.
Well, actually, I got a quicker pic.
This is the second place Stone Award for the second place for Governor's Community Achievement Award.
Oh, yeah, a second pic. I didn't know how long that thing
Yeah,
is.
so.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a tough one.
It's a
Margaret,
tough
the
one.
whole- wanna get- That's
We'll
right.
grab me and you and we'll grab everybody
Okay.
after with the other one. You 1, 2, 3. Thank
Very
you.
cool.
Yay.
Yeah,
Man, that's a tough
Ruby
one.
and this organization, what they have done, and had a chance to visit with Ruby recently, and I really look forward to her leadership of this group, and I look forward to recognizing Laredo with greater awards at next year's state banquet. Obviously, awards is one thing, but as you all know, there's also monetary awards available. And I've seen what this group, what you've done, and it's just a matter of reporting following the data collection, so let's make sure we keep Laredo, not only beautiful, but earning and reckoning the awards that it's rightly
Keep
due.
getting recognized, yes.
So well done
And as a new
to you all.
board, as a new director, everything, this is great, that you're going in the right direction.
Very cool. Interesting.
Yeah, my term ends in August. Unofficially, I have been asked to stay another year, so
Oh, very good.
I'll know a lot more in August, so
So let's
it'll
hope.
be good for our organization,
Right.
for Laredo.
Well,
Thank you.
That's right. Congratulations. Anything else happening in KOB, Texas that we, want to participate in or know about?
Well, this was the conference was very good. We had not had one in 2 years for obvious reasons. We had over 300 attendees, very well attended, good programs, because the programs come from other cities in the session, so you learn and interact to see what other cities are doing to, as far as their prevention programs. So just look to continue being aware when programs or opportunities are available that I can transfer here to our community.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so then I have a discussion of possible action on the following items. This will be the 2.0 Beautiful Award Ceremony.
Yes, so I had a meeting earlier with people from the city, and I'm hoping that they might be able to provide us with a building where we can have our award ceremony. I will ask support from my board of directors to help me find food that we'll be able to give at this ceremony. I'm hoping about doing 30 to 35 guests. Well, I'm planning to award five recipients about. I think we're still trying to figure it out. I do want to give Volunteer of the Year award. We are planning to do this other one, and I would like your all's approval on it to see. I saved paper, I only printed one, so I'm going to pass it down. That's good. It's one of them would be Best Yard Award, and I spoke to Community Development. I know they used to have a program which was Best Block, and in having this program, I think it would be good because part of in order for you to be able to get this award, you need to have your native plants, litter around your home picked up, everything nice and trimmed. And if people like competition, and if everybody's competing against each other, I think this is going to help beautify Laredo. So that is an award I do plan to, have, and it would be nice also we are able to give them a prize for this. And of course, with y'all's approval, I do want to move forward with the award ceremony for my volunteers, and of course for you all as well, and our sponsors that help me throughout the year in order to make all these events possible.
Do you have an approximate cost for the program?
No, for this, as of right now, I have a tentative date. Once again, with your all's approval, once you all approve, I can go forward and look at prices.
Would you do this in each council district? Like
Yeah.
one house, just one house in the whole city?
Yes, one for the whole city, since it is going to be our first, and if it is successful, then maybe we were also thinking about having that best yard maybe biannual or quarterly, if it seems to be something that's successful and have people, the Laredoans participate. I'm looking at a date for September 30th. I do want to have it, as I think I mentioned before the National Guard group that's here with us leave, because I do plan to award 2 National Guard members an award for all their participation. These past couple of months, they're the ones that have been helping me.
Okay, so September 30th, more or less, that's your kind of your date?
Yes, I want to aim for a Friday.
Do you have a place already kind of that you want to use?
I spoke to somebody and they mentioned that there's several facilities that we're able to use as part for City of Laredo. So we can do, they said that maybe we can do Public Works, Max Golf Course, it all depends, which is maybe Max Golf Course might be too far. We could also use something in City Hall. something
The
along.
library has a good, it's centrally located, and it's nice. You can make it as big as you'd like, and you can fit several hundred people in there, or you can make it smaller and do 20, 30, 50 people.
Okay, we'll
So
look into
the
that.
library is real convenient.
Yeah.
And
very
I can-
essential, yeah.
Just an extra thing for welcome back. The third floor is free, right?
Welcome back. I think they have a community room.
They have a community room that they loan
Yeah,
out.
thank you guys, really nice.
And then there's IBC.
There's also the Center for the Arts downtown as
Oh,
well.
that's another one that they mentioned to me.
Yeah, the Center for the Arts is nice.
Yes. I think they said before they close it, I think they're planning a.
Renovation.
And maybe
Yes.
getting the banks involved, you get them motivated to become sponsors or the different events or the different initiatives.
Ms. Rubin,
Yes.
maybe along the lines of what Lynn asked earlier, then maybe every council district.
You think
Because
that-
I think you'll get buy-in from the council. They have promotional monies at the tail end of the year that they need to spend.
They can buy the signs.
They can buy the signs, they can,
That's the thing. For today, so I started doing this thing where I have meetings with council support, parks, and with community development, where we do, or organize future events. Like I have the next 6 months already planned. The only thing is not every council support is always available or is supportive. That's another thing that
You won't ever get it 100%.
yeah, so I know who I can work with and is able to give me that, than having, I don't want to set something up and then for me not be able to go through it because of the support from, council support. I'm not saying a council member, just council support not being there.
well, that's what you have a good board for. And so
Yes.
your board can run that interference for you. And so I would suggest that you start with that end in mind, that have every council district represented, because when you get buy-in from the entire community, this is about Keep Laredo Beautiful. Also, you realize that certain parts of the city are going to be able to do more for their yards, more to make their yards look pretty, and if the north side always wins, the south side's eventually just gonna drop out of the program altogether.
Yeah, so maybe we can do that for this one. I'll try to get more money in regards to in order to get those awards, get a sponsor for those awards, because the reason we narrowed it down to 25 is because of the available funds I have for that specific matter. But if I'm able to get more, then maybe we can get one for each district, an award for each district, because I also want to get them a sign for their yard.
For the one district, the one sign, the one yard, how much money do you need?
So
Because we need to know
the
amounts
award,
in order to.
okay, an award itself on the site that I'm planning to look at is $18. It's a plaque. It's an $18 plaque, okay? So we're looking at plaque, and I think for sign, I think that weigh about $10 each.
So it's about $28.
Yes.
Ruby, I'm sorry.
Yes,
So, I mean, what about getting some of the vendors involved with this project? And I think that they'd be willing to donate these
Sometimes they
awards
do.
just to get their promotion for their business. And especially if the whole city's gonna be involved.
yeah.
It's something that you don't have to worry about the awards.
I would approach it just right along the lines that she's saying. You get sponsorships for everything, but I'd start with the council members, and I'd present it as $250 is what your contribution is going to be to make this program work. And then you go from there. And if it grows, then the amounts become larger and so on and so forth. And I'm using 250 as just a ball thrown out there. But if you're gonna give each house, and I would recommend giving them a prize because that's part of the competition. I would recommend doing something like a $250 gift card to Dr. Ike's. And I would go to Dr. Ike's and tell Dr. Ike, we will buy our gift cards from you, but we want you to kick it up $100. So you go from $150 to $250, but you only put in the $150, or the councilman, whoever the person sponsoring is. So then that way you're leveraging what you're bringing in.
Okay.
And he may even do matching, because he's pretty good about it.
And again, if it's
I
gonna
need to
have
get his
his,
number then. You
if
need
the
to
sign's
give me
gonna
his
have his name
number.
on it,
I'll give you Jay's number.
Yeah, and
I think the louder you are in advertising the competition, the more people you will get to buy into it, and the more input and support you'll get, especially from business owners and
And it's true, and you could,
community
and in expanding that, you could do business of the month. Business of the month.
I do eventually want it to be, more, of course, business, and I also want to end up doing not just best yard when it comes to the citizens, but also businesses. Eventually, if everything works out.
agreed?
It'll be nice.
Okay,
I mean, if we want more work, I mean, you can get the schools involved, and you know that once you get the kids involved, you get everybody involved.
Well, and really with the schools, what we should be doing is working with them as soon as we get everybody in place on the board, working with the schools so that they become their own programs, like Keep Alexander Beautiful or Keep UISD Beautiful, and then all of their schools participate. And then you are collaborative partners with the UISDs or the ISDs that are involved.
Yeah.
And even, and then your board, of course, with training and everything, goes and trains their boards on each of the campuses. And then it becomes just like campus Crime Stoppers.
I want on that because I left a lot of like painting garden projects at UISD and ISD. So there's already people ready to implement those projects.
People working
on
and
those
if you
projects.
start with that, getting closer to the competition, then you can have these groups go and kind of help out the neighborhoods
Exactly.
right before, like,
Yeah, you got the
time.
kids walking in, and then it's not, see, nobody can sit there and blame an adult. The kids are judging.
Yeah,
And who's gonna get mad at a kid?
right.
Well, I would hope nobody.
I would.
Well, kids, if they're throwing eggs, well, then maybe.
But I mean, you
kids. I
get
know
the
how to
kids
get mad at
involved and
kids.
like, they're gonna tell their parents, oh, we gotta keep it clean,
That's
you know,
right.
and like, so you get families buying into
That's
it.
very true.
Okay, so back to the item to make sure that we have, so September 30th, you want to give out
Yes.
5 awards. You also want to run the five awards, and you
If
also
we're
want
able to
to.
do the 8 for district, then let's do it.
Okay.
We'll work on it and get sponsorship.
So we'll do
for that.
one for every council district, and then you have some recognitions you want to do for the 2 National Guardsmen and 2 volunteers or supporters of the organization.
Yes.
So a budget of about 500 per district,
Yes.
okay? And then a budget for the event.
If we have a reception, then we don't have to worry about reception. What we need to worry about is catering.
Okay, right.
Yes. And attending, yeah.
How much for that? Do you
No,
You have
we don't
no
know
idea.
yet. Just,
What do you want to serve?
Yeah, so about $20 to $25
actually
per
wanted to
person,
reach
30
out, yeah.
people.
Is it
And that's on the higher end, the lower end.
So
somewhere-
that's the higher end.
That's the higher end.
And it wouldn't be at that high of an end.
No, and I'm not gonna have ham and cheese sandwiches for everybody.
We're looking
I got peanut
at
butter and jelly. People are happy.
And we have about 40 guests for $20 per play. We're looking at about $800.
Okay, there you go. So all together, we're looking at about $5,000.
Yes.
Okay, so then that's the goal.
Yes.
So we will work with you as a board to find you the sponsors you need, get some buy-in from the council members, help you pick a final location for it, and the date is at September 30th. So do you want us to help you create a small committee to kind of lead that? Maybe Priscilla and Lynn can chair that, can work that committee?
Yes.
Tracy, do you want to jump in on that?
Are you flexible on the date? I mean, just in case they would offer it like at a,
Yeah, the
at no
bank.
cost
Yeah.
or whatever?
Because sometimes the bank will also give you the catering.
It would
Right.
have to
That's
be before October, before
Okay,
the
as long as it's
National Guard
before-
leaves.
Okay,
Yes.
as long as it's before October. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
So then, do I have a motion to create an award ceremony committee with Lynn, Priscilla, and Gracie on that committee?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay. And then we're going to set a budget I have a budget of $5,000, our target goal of raising $5,000 for the award ceremony. Do I have a motion to set that as our target budget?
I move that we set $5,000 as our target budget for the award ceremony.
And I have a second from Gracie. All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. So okay, so 2 motions there. Ms. Ruby, you have your marching orders and you have your team.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, and the next item is creating gardens at our local school programs.
So this was a big iffy because I spoke to Javier. He used to do it part of our life. The only thing is, I think I'm gonna have to wait on that once the new environmental program coordinator gets on board, so he can be able to help me with this program. I went over it. It just seems like the manpower is
It's
just
very
not.
time consuming.
Yeah, the manpower's not there.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to do it, so maybe it's something that we can have in the future. Javier did mention that there is a lot of schools that are, there are schools reaching out to me and saying, hey, we want to do a garden at the school, but the funds of right now are not available. We are applying for grants, but I don't think it's possible. The manpower is just not there.
Manpower, how many people are you talking
So,
She's talking about on a day-to-day basis.
To maintain the.
To maintain see, the problem is with the schools. We can get into the schools. The schools are open and ready to have us come in and do whatever programming we'd like, especially if it's about gardening and being outside, because our scores in Laredo are very low in the earth sciences. So they always encourage it, so they're helpful. The problem is that the teachers aren't trained in gardening. So when they fail, they feel like they're failures and they just can't do it. And they don't want to deal with it because it took so much time and then it didn't work. So you need somebody that can actually mentor the teachers and find the teachers that are willing to put in the time, because it's a commitment. So what happens a lot of times is teachers aren't necessarily at that same school all the time, so the teachers move around. So the garden or the school decides to redo the school, and then they tear up all the gardens and stuff. So then it's like going back to square one and starting all over. So that's the hard part, and being out there every day and them expecting you to have all the answers and everything, and it's like a learning process, and it does take some time, and sometimes it's almost the whole year until they actually get it going. And the best place to do it is usually elementary schools, because once you get the parents involved, then it keeps it going, because the younger brothers and sisters come up and they've been working in the garden with the older ones, so they're already used to it. And those are the best programs usually, the ones where parents are involved. So it goes back. You really need somebody really stable with the school districts that can actually be the ones that spearhead it at the principal level. So then it floats downward to campus level. Every principal assigns the teachers, and then they become the ones that you go to on a monthly basis, not on a daily basis, which is what they really want. They want us there
Do
daily.
we currently have a school that's doing this right now?
Yes. Which is our school.
Right, it was the Milton Elementary. They already have a very active garden that they have on. That's one that I helped put together. And it's very expensive, so what we could do,
That's the problem, the funding.
the funding is the.
That was
so
a major factor.
What happened with LISD is that they did have a grant every elementary school to have these gardens. The thing is that this year, they took away that grant, for upcoming school year.
Yeah.
So they've lost that money, so now, even she was worried, Ms. Castilla, because
she
they
was
lost
saying, I'm
funding.
providing now,
Out of their
the items,
pocket.
yeah. And I went volunteer with
Yeah.
an organization that I belong to, which is La Flor, and we donated some plants and flowers. And she was saying, our issue is not putting the labor, our issue is the funding to buy the plants, the water,
I was
Ms.
thinking
Ruby?
if I'm able to get a grant where we can purchase the ones that are already built, because I'm not gonna go out there and build myself a flower bed.
Ruby,
before-
it's easy. It's easy.
That's the fun part. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part.
To do that,
Yes.
do weed and all that. That's the fun part.
Yeah, I can do the
You
all
know,
the
we can
dirt
partner
stuff.
up with Habitat for Humanity.
Well,
But the building is not.
I think
I
it's,
just think it's very time consuming having to cut and all of that, besides all the other duties we already have on top. If we can get a grant where we can purchase the other ones, I forgot the ones that are like out of metal, that are ready to go, then definitely it's something I would want to, I
So-
want to give, it's a program I want to do, but of course, the funding.
so those of us that have experience building those boxes and things of that nature, I've got 3 of them that I'm gonna do some summer planting with, that I built myself, and Henry and those folks helped me. So in terms of us as a board, that's a project that we can support, but in terms of putting it throughout the entire district, either UISD or LISD, do we have a program manual for this that we could share with somebody and say, look, if we wanted to start this program in your school, here's a program manual for you to go with?
Well, actually have it, believe it or not, we used to have a meeting.
We used to have, yeah,
That's
and
You just have it. So
and I
why
could
don't
go ahead and
Well,
put
let's-
like the minutes.
Yeah, he
So
it was
he
called-
could provide that with that.
Right, it was called Learn, Grow, Eat, and Go, where a section
Hold
of.
on, let me go get it.
Okay, yeah. In fact, a lot of the ISD instructors have it.
Yeah, they have it.
Only when.
Well, I think we should have maybe a monthly luncheon for principals, so that, I mean, who said it? I think it was Lynn that was talking about, you need to get the people that are in charge to
Yes.
really, buy into the program so that they make things happen. And they'll find ways.
But before we run, let's walk. Why don't we take this one
Exactly.
program at Milton that you already have kind of set up?
Right.
Let's use that as a pilot. Let's
Oh, yeah, they locked it.
trade you for your old office.
No, I was going to the closet.
They said
It's in the
they
storage
needed
closet.
I got a hairpin if you want to pick the lock.
If I have
You know what, I
permission,
might have
I'm
a key on my
gonna
key.
That's what I thought.
the
Yes,
So
yes,
let's
they're
trustee-
always welcome, yes.
So if we could do this, and this is just a suggestion with however the board feels they want to handle this, but why don't we use Milton as a pilot? So we can build a manual, we can show the community how this works, we can document that particular pilot before we take it out to the rest of the school districts and the rest of the schools. Use this year as kind of our building program, so that you can tell us more or less what's the cost of maintaining one site, and then we multiply that by the number of sites that we're going to try to take on the next year. That's our grant. So if we need a grant, or we need to raise money for that, let's just do the one. Let's do Milton. That's the one that's already
Yeah, that's
far
right.
enough along. We can use that as kind of our model in our education piece for the community on how we can do these, district-wide for both districts.
Right.
Okay,
And
so
then next
now,
year we introduce the program.
considering we already have the model and we already have the manual, how are we gonna get the funds?
Well, if you've
So
got that already,
we
then
have some funds, but my main concern was
implement.
lots of funds for
Right.
all the schools, because once one school sees, everybody wants it.
We could just create a small
Yeah.
budget and just say, you know what, we're gonna give you the beginner kind of like
Because it was
kit,
small.
and then from there you carry
Well,
on.
I think too, what we need to do is train the personnel at
nutrition.
Milton that are doing the actual work so they can become train the trainers.
Right.
So then we train them, they train the other schools.
I think
Were
we
they
Being a
gonna
minimalist
be,
as well, like, the way you know how to do it, because I remember you gave me
Even
some
if you
classes at the city club, and you were just very minimalist using,
Yes, and that's really, I mean, it's
It's
the borrow, beg, and borrow again. I mean, everybody has something to offer.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah.
So the key is asking.
so, were they gonna be, or I don't know if they're gonna be part of the recognition event, but it'd be nice to kind of showcase them, maybe even give the teachers that were involved some sort of award or allowance for their classroom, just so that it's a motivation for other schools.
It'd be good for
you know.
next year, just because
Right.
this year I haven't worked with them.
Right.
I want to
I think-
recognize.
I'm in agreement. I think that what we ought to do is, again, let's go back and let's restart this program at Milton, use
Yes.
it this year as kind of our rebuilding year, build the manual, document the work, right, that we're doing, take lots of pictures, take some video, train the trainers, and get them ready to put them out through the rest of the district.
Right.
So the next year, as part of our mission with both council and staff, is to, one, solicit funds from both the school districts, that they fund this program as they go into their budget cycles for
The other thing
October.
too to remember is if we do this, we have to keep all the documentation, everything that's done and everything. And the reason, and the documenting will be very important for the district to pick it up, but they can, then the following year in their in-service, that can be an opportunity to actually do the training of learn, go, eat, and grow. Because there's a whole training attached to it. It's a day-long program. And then they become certified individuals. So that should be the goal, that we come in and we train the district itself afterwards.
Agreed.
So with this, the only thing with this thing that we have the, what's it called, the curriculum.
Right.
I think we should just focus on the grow aspect, because that one training, it focuses on the nutrition, physical activity, and then the gardening. I think as long as we just focus on that one section, that should be good enough. I mean, since that is like our target.
No.
You want everything.
And you do it all, because
Oh.
life is comprehensive.
Okay.
See, the nutrition, it might not mean much to anybody, but a kid that grows his own vegetables is going to eat them. And that's how you approach it. Yes, we're not going to maybe focus on nutrition and go, well, every green bean's 10 calories and you have to have the green in your diet. But we're going to say, oh no, but you know, once you grow these beans, they're delicious. Watch, eat one and they're hooked. It's like pulling the carrots out of the ground and they're full of dirt. And you take a bite out of it and they're all like, what? You just say dirt. I mean, kids don't eat dirt. It's sad.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a sad state of affairs. So, you know, once they, and then you explain, well, the dirt is clean, it's good. We made the dirt. Our composting, everything we put in there was good and clean. So now, I know my dirt's good. I know my carrots are good. I know everything's great. You can go see Ruby's watermelon.
I'm gonna need a gavel so I can gavel Liv once
I
in a while, hit her in the
know, I get
head.
too excited.
When she
Yeah,
starts
I'm
wanting to
not
eat
even
dirt.
gonna say it.
No, you can't eat dirt, Liv.
But I think that it needs to be the whole
The
program.
whole program. Okay.
Because, well, mainly because you're gonna have the teachers that won't wanna do one thing, but you know what? After-school programs can do little cooking classes. We can go do
Yes.
little cooking classes with the vegetables they grew, and each of the kids eats them.
Yeah, the final.
And that's like the final thing. I mean, once you harvest and you do, I mean, you have to make everything a big event. The schools have to
Right.
understand that. The kids get excited about that.
And the difference, like in taste, is amazing. I just did some chilaquiles with the tomatoes that he and his dad planted, and they were amazing. They were.
Is also too, you can, like, as far as like, instead of having to go dish out all this money for tomato plant plugs and stuff, the kids can do that in the classroom, and they can actually, here's a seed, and you watch it.
Yeah, and see, there's lots of activities with this Learn, Grow, Eat, and Go. One of them is cut a tomato in half, get a toothpick, and have the kids pick out all the seeds.
I was gonna ask you, and so that's not extension property, right?
No, you can use it.
Perfect. That's all I wanted to do.
The program has the materials.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we call up Hidalgo County. Hidalgo County's gonna send us somebody to train.
That'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be
Because they
good.
know it. So it's like they're wanting to do it. Just because our local entity, you know, is not,
They're
Up to par yet?
Yeah.
you know, that's their issue, not ours. We're not gonna keep
Yeah.
our people from learning and educating themselves.
Right.
Because the education is how you engage.
Yes.
And I recommend all of you go
So-
to conference, because it is very enlightening and you do learn a lot.
When is it?
So,
It just passed, yes, in June, but there's one coming up.
so if we can, let's go ahead and give Ruby a task
Yes.
for next meeting.
Yeah, so keep us
Let's
updated
bring
on
up
that. Yes.
the program, so we can find the manual,
Okay.
right?
We have it.
I know you have it, but so we can find
Yeah,
it.
I saved a lot of Lynn's stuff that is good.
Yep.
That I said, you know what, I want to do this, but one step at a time.
Yeah, no, and again, it's not something that you need to do, you bring them in.
Yeah.
So why don't we bring that back? Let's make that an item for the next meeting to discuss implementing the program at Milton from start and develop a budget for it, right? As you need, and we'll need to kind of figure out what that's gonna cost us. And then maybe that's a group that Javier and I and Joanne can take on as a committee assignment.
That would be great, yes.
Okay, so let's bring it back next week or the next meeting as an action item.
I
Okay.
know there's not another action item, but I don't know if we can add it, or do we put it for next time on?
Yeah, I'll add it for the next meeting, let's go ahead and if you've got something else?
Yes,
Unless you want to bring it, do you have anything on?
I would like to, the naming of new president, naming of.
Let's go ahead and bring that up for the next meeting.
The
That
next
way we have that as part of the
Nominate.
next.
Everybody can
Yeah.
nominate.
Nominate, president, vice president, and secretary.
Okay, so then we come up to item number 6 with the staff reports.
Okay, guys, this is where it gets fun. Okay, so we just went to the K2B conference. I took, I had mentioned I was gonna take somebody from environmental with me. It went well. I learned a lot of stuff, and they do mention when you come, don't want to do everything because you're gonna overwhelm yourself, which is what I'm trying not to do. There's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of stuff, and there's so many things we can be doing that everybody else is doing. I'm like, wait, what? Like, that's a great way to approach it. So there's some stuff that I want to mention to y'all that hopefully we can do. And later we'll focus on all the other amazing stuff that other affiliates are doing. We had on.
Can you do something, kind of maybe expand on it, or the next meeting, kind of let us see what you did at that meeting, what you visited
Oh,
on.
I'm gonna talk about it right now. Don't
We're
worry.
gonna do
There's
it
some
now?
stuff. Yeah, we're doing it right now. So I'm gonna go by first by letting y'all know that we did have a cleanup on Monday. It wasn't there wasn't as many volunteers as I expected, but it still went pretty well. It was at the lake. After 4th of July, we decided to do it. So it was July 5th, the lake cleanup. We did have a good. We picked up about 100 pounds of trash. So it's usually not what we do, but it was still pretty good. And I think maybe I do want to continue this working with the state parks as part of it, because as y'all, and y'all saw earlier, the GCA grant does ask for you to, be involved with Parks, TxDOT, and all of those beautiful organizations. So I do want to keep that with them.
Ruby, yes, do that.
Yes, so I want to try to do at least 2 to 3 cleanups per year at Lake Casablanca.
Excuse me, I was gonna say, I apologize for leaving, I'm gonna have to conduct a interview, but I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, hope you have a great day.
Yes. So then we have also, next week, I do have the environmental summit meeting. I don't know if some of y'all are familiar with it. They have not given me a date yet when it's going to happen, but it's been happening for years. I think the last 2 years, there hasn't been an environmental summit. So in this environmental summit, they get, so it's a committee, I'm part of the committee. This committee goes out and to UISD and LISD, and they present it's like presentation, right? It's a presentation, and they focus on a specific environmental issue that's going on. So we're part of that committee, but it would be good, because I think it'd be good to have somebody, one of my board members, be a part of, as a speaker for that meeting. We do get different speakers. I think we're focusing on endangered species, or our marine life that we have at the Rio Grande. So that's something we're involved in.
What's the date on that?
They have not.
Set a date.
They have not set a date.
It's usually November.
This is the one they have in La Posada the other day.
Well, no, they used to have it at Tammy U.
Yeah.
Who's putting it together?
It's TCEQ oversees the organization of it through Senator Zaffaridi.
So we're participating in that. We have TxDOT has not put up our sign yet. I've been waiting since March. As soon as they put up our sign, I want to do our cleanup for that stretch of highway, and I would like for it to be only my ward and environmental. I don't want to get volunteers in that area. I would like for it to be just us because of the location. The location is Highway 59, 4 miles down from the loop.
4 miles from Loop going east.
Yes.
Yes.
We're
yes.
going,
No.
Going towards
East,
Temperville.
east.
Going
Yes,
towards it?
yeah, going towards Temperville, so it's that way.
59 or 359?
59.
59.
It's 59
Right.
for sure, so yes. So they
Just
still
for
haven't put
the
up
vote.
our sign. We do have to,
You
part
can
of
get to heaven from there.
it's really fun. We do have to do 4 cleanups per year when we have that with them. It's an application that we submitted. We do pay a fee, so it'd be nice for us to go out there and help out. So that's for July.
And that's for July?
Yes.
That's your target?
Almost. Let me bring this up before I go into August. So, we are currently still working on an RFP for North Central Park in
Okay.
regards to we're gonna put up a mural on, I don't know if you all have seen, it's by, what is it, that Discount
Tremendous.
Tire?
Oh, just got
Yeah, okay, so
That back area.
but there's already a mural on this side. We're gonna do I think they named it the south side. No, this is the south side, the north facing. North facing. We're doing a mural there with council member Dr. Montes. Yeah, he is helping us out with that. We are almost waiting. We're just waiting on some approvals to finally be able to put up that proposal out. I am also still waiting on Dr. Marte to give us a date to finally set up the ribbon cutting for Lady of the Water. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Lady of the Water is a statue that's in front of Gold's Gym. That was KLB art. Let me go to the August schedule. As of right now, we have 2 park cleanups for that date, and we have a back to school annual, which is an outreach event on August 1st. I'm still pending on August 3rd an outreach event that we got invited. The only thing is that it's in El Cenizo. So it's, I don't know
Where
what
in
y'all
El
think.
Cenizo?
Huh?
Where in the cities?
Usually it's at the library.
The
Yeah.
community center?
Yes, the community center. So, I mean, I don't know. They did request school supplies, and which we're getting for August 1st. They also requested for us to be able to provide school supplies. The one on August 3rd is also requesting the same thing. The only thing is that I don't know if it's okay because it's in El Cenizo.
It used to be, if I was working in the school district, the city was okay with it. Like, so when you go to the schools, it's kind of like, well, you're within the district, so, you know, being in a county facility, I don't know.
What is it that they're requesting? School supplies?
Yes.
But what is it?
It could be anything. It could be,
Because usually they set up tables. So
Right, they set up
Yeah.
tables,
They set
they're
up
just gonna
tables,
have
it's
the kids go and you're gonna give out
You pick up their-
information
Yeah.
and school
Usually they get a
supplies to
backpack and
them.
then they go take.
I could probably get you school supplies. I mean, it's at no cost, so.
yeah, no,
Can we
that's
check with John
fine.
Porter?
Yeah,
Let's just
Yeah,
I
make
was
sure
hope-
hoping
that-
he
I
was
don't-
gonna be here.
Yeah.
I wanted to check with him to see if that's because it is county,
It is
not
county,
city.
not city.
So,
Let's ask John Porter and get his feedback on that, and we'll just put it as an agenda item for the next meeting. If the board wants to proceed with
It's-
it.
I think that it would probably be okay if you did it, if you created a memorandum of understanding to where when you needed something in the county, then you could go to them and say, okay, well, I was here for you, now you're here for me, because now I need to get the word out about illegal dumping or whatever.
yeah.
But you have to use that as a card in your pocket.
Yeah.
The memorandum of understanding is very important.
That would be good. I work at the county, so I can get one of the commissioners on board for that. And next week, they have a schedule. Commissioners working. But just let me know.
I mean, future reference, Ruby, you can say, hey, county, we'll help you with beautification efforts. We create a contract for services, and you oversee a county component, and they pay you.
Oh,
Did I say that?
But it's true, a lot of people do that. I mean, because it makes more sense.
we are still working on 4 grants. We're working on 4 grants right now. So
Okay.
that is something that really need to finish by hopefully next week. That's why we're taking it a little slow before school begins. So we're working on 4 grants.
What are the 4 grants?
Okay.
Federal?
So one's a tree, one is from, I think 2 are from the valley, they're just organizations that donate. And another one is, is it TCQ? I think it's TCQ.
Awards.
No,
It's also a grant, I mean, the award tied to a grant.
no, I think this is different. I haven't been able to like go into details of it.
Well, the HEB Green Grant Program, Green Bag Grant Program is coming up.
Ooh, that would be one.
That's
And
another one.
And WCC Women's City Club grant is also coming up.
Oh, yes, and I'm working on
Yes.
another one with, what's it called? STDC, the STDC role.
So,
Yeah.
the Walmart has one that, you know, it could be anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000, but they get a lot of applicants, but the key is you go into the environmental category, and that one is
Very few people touch it.
very few people touch it, so you have a really great opportunity to secure that one.
And that's also
That's a
Walmart's,
good one.
Walmart's,
That's a really good one.
And it's online, and
yeah, it's easy,
it's easy,
because you just fill it out. It's
but the
easy.
key is to go in the environmental
under the-
section,
under-
and
Because there's less competition.
Yes, and it's the same thing with HEB, because they don't get as many either, except for the affiliates throughout the state.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just knowing how to present it to be correct.
Yeah, with those grants, I want to focus more on art and tree planting. We're doing a lot of the littering and all of that, and cleanups. But this upcoming months, the focus is going to be on art and tree planting. My volunteers from the National Guard are going to go out and be painting 3 murals around the city in different districts. As a volunteer, we would be paying them just their volunteer hours. So that's something that community development and parks are going to help me out. We're going to go see wherever there's graffiti and where you want to paint over that and put a mural there, and hopefully that prevents graffiti.
So, I don't know how it works as far as, because you mentioned I want to concentrate on a
Can you take over for a
specific
second?
area, like to focus on.
Yeah, sure.
But I'd like to recommend in the future, or whenever, the board decides, an area that we should focus on is water conservation. Not only because we work with cactus, we have cactus babies, but I think it's really important, and I think that it's a very important issue that the city is facing. We're lucky that we have the river, as contaminated as it is, but there's areas, other areas in Texas that their rivers are drying up. I know Monterrey is having to have water sent over there. So I think it's important to get that message out and to look for initiatives to implement for water conservation.
That's great that you mentioned that, and there is something, but it's going to be done with environmental. Once the new program he comes in, I want to give them some of the ideas that we have, because we want to focus on rain barrels. That's another grant I want to work with, but on the city environmental side, and later we can pick up, just because we have so many things that we want to do, and it's a lot, with the.
Well, no, it just snowballs.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
Yeah.
It's good to be excited, because if you're not excited, you don't have the enthusiasm to do the work.
So
So it's okay.
The rain barrel is
you to
something
do.
that's
Good
gonna
goals.
pass over to the environmental guy once he starts, because it's so like that they can have their focus as well. Because there's so many projects that we have that we want to do as well. So and then we have also parks. City parks used to have a Dr. Park. I spoke to Parks today. We're gonna see what happened to the program, so we can get back on that and adopt a park, and that would help not just parks, but that would help me as well. Instead of focusing on going and cleaning up parks all the time, we can focus on neighborhoods and other areas. So we're gonna reach out to parks and get that program going. And I mentioned to them, we can handle the paperwork as long as they go out there and put up the sign for Dr. Park. So it's another program that we're gonna try to kick off again the adopted park out of the KLB side.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna chime in, and also like Javier, like with your project over at Middleton. So for every spray head, for your sprinkler, everybody's got them. For every spray head that you can convert over to drip, you're gonna save 60% water usage.
True.
So that's what I was gonna tell you. If you, I mean, you can come through. You screw your spray head off the riser. It's got a manifold that screws in its place, and you run your drip lines right off of it.
We played around with that, but I know when you had to put one together, that's a thing. Yeah,
Oh, you
but
guys had to put them together.
I know that I didn't even.
You're newly recruited.
Yeah, I just emailed him with
Yes, we need
I've been
that.
through the school. I still need to go. I got to renew out for a Texas irrigator's license, but yeah, that's what I was gonna tell you, Javier, also too, like as far as like cost and like trying to pitch this and all the fun.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
what are the dimensions of that project?
No, it is a pretty lengthy. We actually have several garden beds, but it's a pretty lengthy area that we cover.
Yeah.
Más o menos
He
que like
does
about-
garden beds too.
Was 50?
It's more, yeah,
volunteering program.
about, it's like about what, like 50 feet? It's a pretty lengthy garden bed. What I was, yeah, the big trellis and everything. What I was gonna suggest is that maybe, because she goes there every week and the school is always open, because she steps in, maybe one of these days we could ask for permission to go in with her so we can get an idea of what the project actually looks like.
She actually works with her own family and friends after hours, after
put
work,
it
during the
together.
weekend. Just
It's a community
Yeah.
garden. It
Yeah.
ends up being a community, because that's what it needs.
And I have a brand new Cub Cadet tiller.
Oh, is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, she'd love that.
Yeah. She'll do
And
it.
also, Miss Ruby,
There
you were
used to
talking
be
about
some-
your National Guardsmen and everything. One thing, I don't know if anybody, I'm prior service, I don't know if anybody, but what you can do that'll really go a long way with them, so you can write a letter of commendations for those guys.
Oh yes, every volunteer
Yeah.
of mine receives they receive a letter, and actually, some of them already got recognized. They helped me make my flower beds, and they have their name. I made a plaque with their names on there. I've been doing what I can to be able to recognize them, because some of them have been helping me a lot, and most of my volunteers are the National Guard.
Well, and the thing about it too, if you can write that letter, I mean, it's on a, professional letterhead and everything, and just name them out, they can take that letter to their command and they'll put it in their SRB, their record book.
Yes.
And then anytime promotion comes up like meritorious, they go through that and they look and you're
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh.
actually, how I mentioned, every volunteer, once they've completed because they need to do 60 hours, once they complete their 60 hours, they do receive a letter from KLB stating of how grateful we are from them and all of that. So we've been working really well with them.
That
Yes.
helps out promotion time.
Yeah, and I think they're getting an award, or they get an award for their participation through that letter that we've been providing.
Lynn, where are we on the agenda?
We're still where we were.
Yes. Yes, let me.
She was finishing up.
Yeah, let me go to the next thing. Another thing that I got from KB, Keep Austin Beautiful, and I really like that, is that they give a prize out to the volunteer that comes out with the most unique item found when they're cleaning. And that's pretty cool, because we do come across some interesting stuff during the cleanups. If y'all ever go join us, man, it's amazing. I love it. Honestly, I love it. I love engaging with the community, and especially the local. Before the task force cleanup, the one before that, the Azteca neighborhood, man, it was great. Honestly, I had so much fun. Different people from the community went out there, and it would be good to have a most unique prize during these events, and that was going to encourage them, like, oh, let me see what I can find this time. That's something I would want to implement. No, that I'm going to start implementing. I'll create a little goodie bag for them, give it to them.
That'd be nice.
Yes, and actually I forgot to print out what we just did, but Azteca, that one was a great. We collected 46 tires, 46 tires, that's so many tires. How many tons of trash was it? 13? Or am I wrong? Okay, maybe. It was just so much trash. I mean, it was
No,
just
that's about right.
I think it was like 13, man. It was just so much trash. And I know everybody's concern is like, why do you guys keep cleaning up that area? It is so close to the river. That is why we clean up that area. And actually somebody just, they tagged me on my personal Facebook, not through KLB. A couple months ago, a concerned citizen mentioned to me about the Zacate Creek waterfall. And I went out there, and we went out and we did the Zacate Creek cleanup, and then after that we had the Azteca. And now it's just it's clean. And if I have any of y'all on Facebook, y'all see where I got tagged, and you can see a turtle in the Rio Grande, and I thought that was lovely. Yeah, and he was like, thank you. The contractors are now going out there twice a week, keeping their area clean, and we keep focusing in that area. Because I know the stormwater inlet guys, they do go to that area very often and clean out the stormwater inlets. It's really preventing the trash from going into the Rio Grande. So that's one event that I was super happy about, very successful. It was at KLB alone. Councilwoman Cigarroa did attend as well. She did sponsor, of course, she provided food. It was a successful event. And then the last thing, another thing I do, there's two more things I want to mention. So we do have the 3 board members resign, just so y'all know. We had Ms. Tracy King, Jackie Sutton, and Kenneth Duncan leave the board. I did receive 2 new applications today, and I already have 3 already submitted to city manager in order to get them approved. So if I submit these 2, they should all be in the meeting, so that would be 5
For
new.
next meeting.
Yes, for the next meeting.
Priscilla, don't you have volunteer to want to recommend an application?
An application
An
I
application
recommend.
for volunteer?
Oh, yeah, I have the application.
Lucky, there you go.
You'll receive another one.
Yeah. If everything gets approved, if everybody gets approved, then we should have a strong 13 members on board.
Very good.
So even though we lost, I'm so happy we're still gaining more. And then this is the last thing I'm going to mention. Maybe we can be on the agenda item next time. I did mention on my first board meeting that I had looked at previous board meeting videos, and there was a mention of the logo,
Yeah.
of getting a new logo. Is that something y'all still want to do?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I would suggest a logo that maybe doesn't have a lot of, just too much of that, a little bit more simpler, because when you convert it,
It needs to be cleaner, so
Yeah.
that it can be reproduced in black and white
There
and color.
are, I have
Yes.
six mock-ups ready for you. We're
Okay,
gonna donate
perfect.
those for you. My graphic designer has been working on those previously with Blasita.
Okay,
Although
yes.
Blasita was not in
No
favor
barrel-
of it, she
no.
at least said, can you guys,
No barrel cactus.
no, I don't think this one has any cactus at all.
You know what? The cactus is the state plant. I don't know if you know that, but the nopal is the state plant. And believe me when I say, the cactus makes us unique in terms of logos.
In the plot.
Then what would you consider?
Is that why it's on my forehead?
Inappropriate
Because
flag
it's
for
too
the
busy.
city of Laredo.
What would I really think the nopal.
A nopal.
The nopal.
A nopal.
Tenemos el nopal en la frente.
I'm gonna have to mention something. I do like the colors.
Yes.
I like the
No,
colors.
the color
but
is perfect.
I love that teal. I like that. That blue is amazing. But it is sometimes very difficult. I was looking at our shirts that I ordered, and it's not clean.
Well, it looks like a watermelon from here.
Like the one we got growing outside.
It's so cute.
If I can make the suggestion, at the next meeting, I'll have the graphic designer here, I'll have your web designer here, so
Yes,
that you
that'd
guys
be
can
great.
start those 2 projects, or pick up where we left off on those 2 projects. Because we had already committed to donating you a brand new website, and somewhere along the way, a lot of that just kind of got left behind. And so we can start there, and that way you can give your ideas to the graphic designer
Uh-huh,
as a group, and
Great.
we can go to work on that.
awesome.
Color is good, don't get me wrong, but it does need to be something that can be reproduced in black and white, because the program itself, you give away a lot of information, and to put everything in color is cost prohibitive, and it's ridiculous,
Yes.
because you don't need it. But the logo can still be identified, even if it's in black and white, as long as it's very clean and it's clear. That's all that, it's like having
I
a
hope
weird
we
font.
keep that logo for years, because we won't have to change it all again.
That's the way to do it, is to keep it forever, because that's branding.
Yeah.
Are you talking about, what nopal are you talking about?
No, that's the saguaro, baby.
No, not the saguaro, the
The real.
real nopal.
Yeah, an actual nopal.
The opuntia. Yeah.
The one
it's-
that grows
That's
the
right, yes.
The one that grows the tunas, yes.
The one that grows at
That's
the,
a
Prickly pear.
the prickly pear.
Can I have a yellow flower on there for this? Is that okay? 'Cause I like it when it has
It
that
does, right? It
yellow.
comes with-
Yeah.
Well, they have different colors. I mean, there's
I
the
like the
orange,
yellow.
there's the
They have
yellow.
different nopales with different
You can-
colors.
I mean, you can change the color. You can have logos with different colored flowers.
Depending on,
It depends.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just say that because you can put the nopal in every different state too. When it's got the tuna, when it's got the flower, and just plain.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's our scene. Let's face it, that's what you see every day.
That's true.
And you know what, I love it. And I'm getting ready to put a whole bunch of them in my front yard.
I got your,
There you go, Miss
I got
Lynn.
your guy.
Oh, I just, what,
I have,
They're
Sent
stressed out,
pages.
but they're
nice.
beautiful purple right
oh,
now.
you showed to me afterwards, because I'm really into the
And I have a
cacti.
couple.
I got a couple of saguaros growing right now, and some,
Do you?
cholas.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll put that on the next agenda, a presentation by Liquid Studio Group on the website and
I'm a little giddy.
on the new logo design. That way
Great.
You can
So
give me
that-
your feedback.
That covers activity report and new projects and programs. And then the last is a t-shirt sponsorship that I'm going to mention. So I saw another organization was doing this and I liked it. And so what we ended up doing is I wanted more t-shirts. We had a lot of people. I'm almost out of the t-shirts I just received. We've had good feedback. So what we did was we created a post where we said, sign up as a volunteer with KOB, that we're putting those volunteers in our volunteer database, and we're providing them with a t-shirt. And I said, hey, you know what, let's get some more t-shirts. And I saw some people's t-shirts as at the conference, and I liked what they said, and I liked their ideas, so this is what we went. And once again, I only printed one, we're gonna pass it down. And thanks to, we posted on social media to get sponsorships, and thank you to Javier Alonso, our board member. He really helped me put it out there, and thanks to him, we got a lot of sponsors. I currently only have about 3 spots left, or 2, because I think Chick-fil-A might get one. And that's in a span of a week. Like, that is just amazing. We're, we already have that going. So, just wanted to show you all that.
With the new logo.
With, well, if we're able to get that new logo, yes.
I'm a sponsor.
Okay. We'll write her down.
Okay, so that was the last item we had?
Yes,
Can we
that's
circle-
We'll get the last 2 slots.
So can we circle back to one item you mentioned? You
Yes.
needed a date.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee, you needed a date for the ribbon cutting for the Lady of the Water?
They have not gotten back to me. It's something that,
Wednesday, July 20th, 10 a.m.
thank you so much.
July 20th?
July 20th, Wednesday, 10 a.m. That's Dr. Martinez's.
That's what he said. Okay, well, I need to check with the artist because she said she was going out of town.
Okay, so
Let
we
me
can
check,
match that
but
up.
thank you,
But
yes.
that's the date he's available.
July. Okay, so of course our board is always welcome to go to this ribbon cutting with us. I'll either way send an invite. As always, every event I'll be sending you guys an invite, keeping you all informed. You all are always more than welcome to join us. Remember, as part of your part of your board member duties, at least 3 events per year is kindly requested from you all.
No, it's not
And
kind.
the 2 weeks, he says he can
She's telling you, show up.
Your body.
You're needed. You're needed.
Kindly request.
The councilman says he can push 2 weeks also, so in other words, he can go the 27th, and he can do the following week in August.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Yes,
So
because
he'll give you
it's
3,
something.
and 10 o'clock is his best time, because he can start at the clinic, he can do a few procedures, and then you can take off, come out for 30,
That's
40 minutes.
amazing. We'll set it up like that. We can finally get Our Lady of the Water going. Yes, and I would like to get more, something different besides that type of art. I want to focus maybe also more on statues and maybe, I've seen some nice,
There's
seems
some nice
stuff.
work.
Yeah,
You
there
can
is
get-
some nice work.
You can even have people do stuff with recyclable materials and put something
Yes,
like that together.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if you remember the parade, the WBC parade, where they
Yes.
used a bunch of recyclable. Oh my God, there were some floats that were
Yes, they're really neat.
So that's a good idea.
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
want, mentioning that, I do, hopefully we can come out in the parade this upcoming year, so. it's-
Yeah, with
Use your trailer, the one you have. Don't try to do the 50-foot one, I know what I'm telling you.
No,
Keep it to
something
the
small.
16-foot one.
And then going back to one more item, you said
Yes.
that you're waiting on text dot for your sign,
Yes, our chief,
and who have you been communicating to?
Lydia Segovia,
Okay.
yes. She said that they already ordered it, they just haven't put it up.
So they have it.
They have, they're just
Yeah.
needing to put it out.
So if it is set up already, I have the tentative date of July, what was it that we put? 2016. July 20, between July 16th, July 23rd for that cleanup. There would be one in September and one in December. That we can do the 3, and would be short 1, but that is okay since we did receive our sign late.
Okay. Okay, then I'll reach out to Dico Gonzalez over there and see if he can help me get that thing set up soon.
Yes, that'd be amazing. I'd like to do it.
Huh?
I can't believe he's boss.
Well, hi.
He was a kid.
He's still a kid. What are you talking about? He's still a kid.
Yeah,
He's a good kid.
he is a good kid.
Okay.
Good kid.
So on the t-shirt sponsorships, do you need anything else? Or can we?
No, I think honestly, I think we're covered. I'm so grateful of wow, I didn't expect for us to get it that quick. And for people to be like, yes, I'm on board. And we got that.
Okay, so
If you
then,
like want me to change the logo, we can wait on ordering those t-shirts until we have the new logo. Like,
well, let's just see how fast we can do.
Yeah.
Once we get everybody's
Yeah.
input. But I would.
They're
I
gonna be
would-
green.
yes, they would be green. I
Like
love
that
the green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hopefully they have about
Yeah.
that green or green. I like it. White and green. Yeah.
So, date and time for the next meeting, same place, but what time?
Let's see, what are we
Okay,
by
what time?
August? Okay, any
5:30
suggestions?
work good for me.
Yeah,
so
5:30 is good.
I, not on a Tuesday or Thursday, we can do a Monday or Wednesday, is that fine? Any day?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the start of the school year?
Oh, they're starting early.
teachers start on the school.
Yeah, something on Monday though.
Yes,
No,
they're starting early.
Yeah, poor kids.
so it's Wednesday, because Monday you have that event now.
Poor kids, poor
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah. My kid.
Well, because
Let me check the list you
getting
can.
kiddos ready for school and everything else, we might
Yes.
want to
Yes,
make sure we don't.
Yeah, you don't want to overstep there.
yes.
Well, I want to get the meeting somewhere where they have plenty of time to acclimate to going back to school. I wouldn't want to put a meeting the day before
No.
they're going to send all their
No.
kids to school.
No, I agree. Needs to be,
So they begin on Wednesday the 10th.
So they begin on Wednesday the 10th.
the kids do.
Yes, so do you want to do August the 8th?
It's Friendship Day. It's National Friendship Day. It
Philadelphia.
used to be my anniversary.
Aww.
Yeah, why not do it that day or the 3rd? I'm okay with teachers having to go back to work, but it's when the kids have to go and
And then you
parents,
have to get
teachers.
everything ready.
Yeah, so
So,
everybody okay on the 3rd?
I could,
on the 3rd,
Everybody good, 3rd?
Yeah,
does that give you enough time really to get everything together?
time, 5:30?
3rd, 5:30?
yes,
Is that
Everybody
okay?
fine with 5:30?
yes.
5:30? Actually, you okay with 5:30? Okay, actually, good, we're good, guys.
Okay, so then just set it up for August the 3rd at 5:30. And then you have the items already for the next meeting?
Correct. Yes, everything I mentioned.
All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
And a second? And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're out of here.